Sean Dyche is being tipped to take the Rangers job, and Ally McCoist's not just heard it, he's felt it. Are the fans targeting the wrong man? CEO Patrick Stewart's getting it in the neck, but new claims say Kevin Thelwell's the one pulling the strings behind this sinking ship. Alex McLeish breaks his silence and slams Martin's tactics as pure fantasy, and now Rangers might be turning back to Barry Ferguson. Again, could we really be heading for another interim boss? Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. We are the people. Ally McCoist, the voice you trust and the face you love, has let slip a wee whisper that could shake the very foundations of Ibrox. Sean Dyche, the no-nonsense Englishman, being quietly touted as a possible replacement for Russell Martin. And it's not coming from some daft internet rumor. Ally says he's heard things. Now, before you roll your eyes and chalk it up to media noise, listen, this isn't some throwaway name on a betting list. Dyche is the current bookmaker's favorite. And let's be honest, it wouldn't be the most outrageous move given where we are. Rangers are sitting 11th in the Premiership, not 3rd, not 4th, 11th, and with 0 wins to your name in the league. That's not just unacceptable, that's utterly shameful. Add to that the fact we got absolutely humiliated in Europe, 9-1 on aggregate to Club Brugge, 9-1. Let that sink in. Rangers don't just lose like that. We don't lose like that. And while Martin managed to squeeze past Hibs to book a place in the League Cup semi-final, the noise around Ibrox was louder than the football, banners out, chants flying, and CEO Patrick Stewart getting it in the neck as well. Now, McCoist didn't exactly say the job's about to change hands, but he didn't deny the idea either. And that brief meeting he had with Martin, barely a handshake, no ringing endorsement, no, he's the man for the job. Just a polite nod and on we go. Even Celtic's own Alan Brazil hinted that Martin's probably not sleeping much these days. Can you blame him? Sean Dyche might not be everyone's cup of tea. He's more steel toe caps than samba slippers, but after the kind of soft, gutless performances we've seen lately, a bit of grit might be exactly what's needed to wake this team up. If it came down to it, would you sack Russell Martin tonight and bring in Sean Dyche before the Europa League clash with Genk? I reckon this news alone deserves a like, don't you think? It really helps the channel grow, mate. The atmosphere around Ibrox right now feels like a pressure cooker ready to blow, and the anger from you isn't just getting louder, it's starting to scatter in different directions. The banners are up, the voices are raised, but here's the real question. Are you shouting at the right people? Russell Martin's position is hanging by a thread, no doubt about it. But now the spotlight's turning towards CEO Patrick Stewart, maybe unfairly. From day one, Martin wasn't a fan favorite. You didn't ask for him, you didn't trust the process, and now, after a dire start that's seen just 4 wins from 13 matches, your frustration is boiling over. But hold on, Keith Jackson from the Daily Record has thrown a spanner in the works. He's suggesting Stewart might just be a convenient target. According to him, Stewart might not even have been the one pulling the strings on Martin's appointment. That honor, it seems, could belong to none other than Kevin Thelwell, the club's new sporting director. Now, here's where it gets murky. If Thelwell was handed the reins and he chose Martin, then yes, Stewart's judgment is still on the line for hiring him in the first place. But maybe the fury should be redirected to the man who spent the summer revamping the squad, bringing in a dozen new players, and yet only 2 of them have shown anything resembling real quality. Magoma looks promising. Gassama's got a spark, but the rest, mediocre at best. And don't even get started on the £10 million dropped on Youssef Chermiti, who flopped at Everton and has done little to justify the price tag in Glasgow. The recruitment under Thelwell has been scattergun, the tactical identity under Martin is still missing in action, and Stewart's leadership is being questioned. But if Martin was handed to us as a package from Thelwell, then surely that's where the real accountability lies. Now here's what you need to ask yourself before the next protest. Are you wasting time chanting at the CEO when it's the sporting director who's handed us a manager out his depth and a squad that looks like it was built in the dark? Should Kevin Thelwell be the one getting hounded out of Ibrox before Patrick Stewart even takes another step inside the building? Ally McCoist isn't one for sugarcoating, and ahead of Thursday's massive Europa League clash, he's delivered a reality check that should have every person in Ibrox sitting up straight. McLeish, a man who brought 2 league titles and 5 cups to Ibrox, knows exactly what it takes to succeed in that dugout, and right now he's not seeing it in Russell Martin. Speaking to the Belgian press ahead of the showdown with Genk, McLeish didn't hold back. His verdict: the football Martin is trying to play just doesn't match the quality in the dressing room. You've seen it. Martin wants to be Pep Guardiola. He wants to play out from the back, use the keeper like a midfielder, and pass teams to death. But as McLeish bluntly put it, Guardiola has hundreds of millions to build his team. Martin's working with a squad that still struggles to complete 10-yard passes under pressure. The most stinging line: McLeish admits he was in shock at the 9-1 drubbing to Club Brugge. Couldn't even watch it, had a pal texting the score and thought it was a wind-up. That's not just disappointing, that's an embarrassment for the entire club, and he didn't stop there. He went full Fergie mode, reminding us all of the mantra he got from Sir Alex Ferguson himself. You can take risks, but only in the last third of the pitch. Martin, on the other hand, is asking defenders and goalkeepers to take those risks 80 yards too early, and it's killing us. McLeish's message is simple: expectations at Rangers will always be sky high. You're not just asked to win, you're expected to finish above Celtic every single year and to do it in style. And if the players can't execute that, then the manager has 2 choices: either change the style or change the players. But what's not acceptable is standing still while the team sinks. And now Thursday looms like a guillotine. Lose to Genk, and it's not just Martin under pressure, it's the entire identity of this team that's on the chopping block. Should Russell Martin be forced to ditch his entire philosophy right now, or would you rather sack him than watch another pass go sideways from the 6-yard box? Well, here we go again. The spectre of another interim manager looms over Ibrox, and the name being whispered through the marble halls is Barry Ferguson again. Mr. Rangers, the heartbeat of our midfield for years, and a man who bleeds royal blue more than most ever could. With Russell Martin's reign hanging by a thread, the club might be preparing the ground for a return of Ferguson to steady the ship yet again. Right now, Martin is limping along in 11th place, desperately clinging to the scraps of credibility left after a shambolic start. And despite all the posturing from the board, claims they're not speaking to other managers and still backing Martin, the writing's on the wall. If there's even a draw in the next 2 matches, particularly against Genk in Europe, the trigger could be pulled. But here's the kicker. Keith Jackson says no serious replacement is even being assessed. That's not just unprofessional, that's negligent. And if the board aren't doing their homework, then Rangers are once again staring down the barrel of scrambling for an interim gaffer to save face. Sound familiar? Ferguson already did the job once. He got thrown in last time after Clement got the boot. And despite a rocky domestic run, he produced that stunning Europa League win over Fenerbahce and outfoxed Mourinho. That's not nothing, and he did it with Billy Dodds, Neil McCann, and Alan McGregor, Rangers men to the core. By his side, imagine what they could do with real backing. But after the way that stint ended, and the fact he wasn't even considered for the permanent job, you have to wonder, would Barry even want to put himself through that again? And do the board really think they can keep using Ferguson as the fire extinguisher every time they burn down the house? Would bringing Barry Ferguson back as interim manager actually be a step forward, or just another cowardly, short-term cover-up by a board that has no long-term plan for Rangers? If you've stuck with me all the way to the end, you're not just watching, you care about what happens next at Ibrox. So do me a favor, smash that like button to show you're backing the badge through thick and thin. Post videos every day talking about our Rangers, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.